Hey everyone. I hate that I'm having to make this video, but also I think at this point it's kind of necessary because the comments have really gotten pretty intense, and they're not the kind of thing I want other people to read or see when they come to see what I'm doing. This is kind of like my journey through my mental health struggles my whole life. As you can imagine, this has been pointed out to me a million times as not normal, dangerous, crazy, and none of you are wrong. That's the thing. The only thing I really dislike is the bullying. That's pretty unnecessary. Bringing my daughter or husband into it, it's kind of a low blow, like even for a lot of online bullies that I've dealt with. And trust me, I've had plenty. A lot of people have been asking why I did this or how I got this way. And I've invited others in other videos and comment sections, and I think even in my bio here on YouTube, you can go check out my TikTok. I know a lot of people don't like TikTok, but I have a ton of content there that spans the last 2.5 years. And it will show you what 2.5 years of struggling with mental health looks like and trying to come back from it. That's why I share the videos of my laser removal. It's not just purely for, your entertainment. I'm glad you enjoy watching it and seeing the process, and it's scientifically amazing. And it's not for vanity. It's not because I'm ashamed of how I look, because I've looked this way for years, and honestly, this tattoo on my face is the only reason I am still alive. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. Had I not turned to pain, had I not turned to a different way of thinking, it would have gone a lot worse. As you can imagine, this was done during many, many periods of psychosis. I am addicted to pain. You can be addicted to pretty much anything, and mine is pain. Go figure. I am not the stereotypical white Christian, razor's edge, person. I am my own individual. I struggle. And that's why I started the TikTok. Was to show people, like, you can fall really far. I'm like bottom of the barrel. I defaced myself. I destroyed myself in an effort to survive. Your brain will do some really wild things to try to keep you here, because that's its prerogative, to protect homeostasis and keep you living, procreating, having a family. But societal norms make things hard. It's gotten easier in the last few years. I've even had a lot of people say, hey, don't remove it. It's who you are. It's beautiful. It's part of you. And I agree with you on many levels. But the reason for the removal is to remove the trauma that made me put it there. I know that sounds nuts, but I feel like if I can look at myself again in the mirror and see myself and not what I was running from, because I did this to run from myself. I did this to become someone else, someone who wasn't weak, who still deserved to be here. And that was my mindset. If I can do this to myself, if I can get through this pain, through this embarrassment, through this, I still deserve to be here. Yeah, and there's a lot of trauma there. A lot of you guys have guessed, she's probably got a lot of trauma. You're not wrong. I don't think everyone wants an autobiography. And again, if you go over to my TikTok, there is a lot of information there, if you do still have questions. If you want me to do a longer format video on here, I can do that. I went viral about 2 years ago for all the wrong reasons, and it's been a lot to come back from that to even admit to myself that dissociation played such a large role in my life that I'm missing years of my life. And a lot of that is experiences and, memories I could have made with my daughter that lights are on, nobody's home. I don't have them. I see them in pictures, which is pretty interesting. When you can stop and realize what you've done, the ramifications of it, why. Wanting to come back from it, share with others that it can be done, and fight through it. A lot of people say, hey, that's gotta hurt like crazy. I've had tattoo removal done. It hurts so much worse. You're not wrong. It's very, very painful, but nothing compared to the mental anguish I have had to push through for most of my life. So if you were to tell me or ask me on a scale of 1 to 10 how much removal hurts, I would have to tell you maybe a 5 or a 6. Maybe a 5 or a 6. Probably lower. I've watched some of my videos. I hardly wince. I don't need breaks. To be honest with you, I probably don't even need the ice packs. But that's their protocol. That's their procedure. It is being done for free. They have donated these services to me to help me come back from a really dark place. And I can't thank them enough for that. Carmen, she's one of the people that really helped run Removery, said we're going to keep going until it's gone, or until my skin can't tolerate any more of the treatments. I've gone from, this tattoo is literally this color, and in 2 years I'm at a light gray. So just so you know, you go from like this to a darker purple, lighter purple, blue, and now I'm at the gray stage. I'm getting so close. And I really am looking forward to moving on with my life. A lot of you have said pretty horrible things about my husband, which is wild. He's a 100% disabled combat veteran from the United States Army. And I am his caregiver through the VA because, believe it or not, I used to work in EMS. I have a lot of medical knowledge. I even went and got a degree in psychology to try and better understand myself, because I like things to make sense. And I think that all begins with a really good, solid foundation of knowledge, which is what this is, I guess. Because it seems like a lot of you guys want to make me make sense, because I'm not something you see every day, and I understand that completely. If you feel the need to bully people online, and I've said this on TikTok, go ahead and bully me. I've put myself out here to help others, and if helping others means helping you by bullying me, I can take that, because I have been for a couple years now. It wears off after a while. Like, okay, and what are you running from? If I make you that uncomfortable, maybe reevaluating the way you treat people and see people and have empathy and human kindness. Maybe we should reevaluate that, especially if you call yourself a Christian or a follower of Jesus, because it seems like I get a lot of flack and pushback specifically from that crowd, and I'm not really sure why, because judge not lest ye be judged, I think is actually how it's worded. You'll learn the most from people who have literally been forged in fire and pressure. Homeless people can teach you some of the most amazing lessons about humanity. More than you'll get from famous authors and books, literature, philosophy. the human condition, if you really want to understand it and see it and what needs to happen to improve it so that we can move forward and not keep pulling each other back and down. We're not playing King of the Mountain here. We should be working on building a scaffolding for each other to build each other up. And until we do that, we have a lot of work to do. Reflection, introspection. But again, I'm here because I want to help other people see that it can be done. For people wondering, yes, I do have borderline personality disorder. I've been told, and I have read in the DSM, whatever version it's on now, and I have it was 5. I think it's probably at 6 now. I'd have to double check. And by my own psychiatrist, that it's one of the most difficult conditions to treat. It is. Because we cut ties, we pull away, we sever. Our emotions are too big. They're too big. They're often too much for us to handle, and that is why that particular diagnosis has one of the highest permanent solution rates of any of the others. It really does. Also, panic disorder, major depressive disorder, complex PTSD, because there's been more than one severe trauma in my life, so that gets you the C. The C is comorbidities, along with PTSD. I do have comorbidities. Those are the things that piggyback off of other diagnoses. So like I said, I have BPD, but from that, I have panic disorder, major depressive disorder, and then with the PTSD, I have nightmare disorder. So I fight in my sleep and cry in my sleep and scream in my sleep, which is really disturbing to my family. So I do take medication to help me live a normal life. I know a lot of people demonize certain medications, but you don't get mad at diabetics for taking insulin. You don't get mad at people with hypertension for taking medication to help lower their blood pressure. You don't get mad at the cancer patient for getting chemo. Mental health is health, and I think we really have to end that stigma. We really do. There's a lot of people who need help. And a lot of those people that you turn your nose up to, homeless and addicts, those are more often than not people like me who suffer greatly with different conditions that didn't have the family there, the family structure to support them. They probably were so ill they couldn't hold a job, so they wound up on the street. Or it was someone who crashed out when they hit their early 20s. That can happen with certain things like schizophrenia. And maybe their insurance didn't cover what they needed. Maybe because of online bullying that they see here, they weren't comfortable enough to say, I'm not okay. So they tried to self-medicate. And now they're addicted to substances because they're trying to run away from the pain of their mind. And all anyone wants to do is keep them away like they're feral animals. You play loud music around your gas stations and other places at night where they could sleep in a safe environment that's well lit with a bathroom. We've lost that much of our humanity. Just now in DC, they said all the homeless people need to get out. Do you think they chose to be homeless? Where do you want them to go? Where do you want them to go? They have nothing. They're lost. But that's a discussion for another time, I suppose. But here, I guess, is just the quick introductory, hey, I'm Taylor, and I live with mental health conditions, and I'm here to help. Yep. Talk to you later.